Really happy you could drop by Visual Art Photography today. I'm Ray Scott, your always friendly neighborhood photographer. We're going to take a look at multiple exposure flowers today. Now, you can do multiple exposures in something like Photoshop and use different layers and combine your flowers that way, but you know something, you can also do it in camera, and it's a lot of fun. Now, I can't set up your camera for you because I do not know what kind of make your camera is, but I'm using a Canon, and I'll quickly show you how I do it on my camera, but it's very easy. All you have to do is go to your multiple exposure function on your camera. So we're going to do that today, multiple exposure flowers in camera. The door is always open here at Visual Art Photography, so your always important questions and comments can be addressed down below. Now, let's take a look at the setup that I use on my camera for multiple exposure, just to get us started.
So the very first thing you want to do is to go to the multiple exposure setting on your camera, and if it's on disable, change it to enable. And once you've done that, you can go down to whether you want it to be average or additive. In this particular case, we want average, and the number of exposures we want for this one is 3. You may want more.
So now that we have the camera set up for multiple exposures, now it's up to you as to how many exposures you want, whether it's 2, 3, 5, 10, whatever. Have lots of fun with that. Now, you have your camera and you're in front of your flowers. Now, the idea for me is I like to move around the flower bed a little bit, and I may take my first image of just like a flower over here, and then my next one and my next one. But the key here is that you have your camera set to live view so that you can check your LCD on the back and you're seeing what's happening real time. So if you take a picture like this and then you take a look at your LCD, so that's one image on your camera, and then move it around to another part of the flower bed and take another picture, you're seeing what's happening real time. And then maybe you're taking a third picture and you see what happens real time. And then your camera processes it and you come out with your multiple exposure. And there's different ways to get different effects, and I'll show you how right now.
All right, a riot of color, very playful and very, very summery. Now, 3 exposures. You have the first exposure is that big purple echinacea plant. That's number 1. Number 2 is a more wide-angle view of the flower bed, and you see the smaller echinacea plants. And photo 3 is all the yellow that you see, those yellow daisy-like plants. They represent the third exposure. Now, all these 3 put together in camera to form this. Over here, 2 exposures. Sorry, make it 3 exposures again. Up close of the echinacea plant, closer for the yellow plants, and then another shot, and you get 3. Again, I encourage you to experiment. Now, one of the compositional tools that you'll want to use here is the idea of being able to use all of the frame. Now, in this one, you see the flower on the left-hand side, the echinacea plant. That's one shot. So you don't want to center everything. What you want to do is use the frame. So I put that flower on the left. Image 2 is all of that purple phlox plant that you see on the right. That's number 2. And the third photo in this is that white daisy plant in the center. So those are the 3 photos that I was using here. Use the different parts of the frame. 3 photos again. And boy, does it ever pop, does it ever come at you. 3 photos again. Some phlox plants, some echinacea, and a few other things going on in there. But look at that. It just really comes at you, and it gives you kind of a different feel, obviously, with multiple exposures. It's something that's not real. It's something that you're making up as a photographer. It's something very photographic. 2 images together. One of the phlox plant and one of a white daisy. Double exposure again. with one is the phlox plant in the middle there that you see coming up, and it hasn't actually opened yet. And then one of those yellow plants, flowers, opened up.
So I've shown you just a few examples of what you can do with multiple exposure flowers in camera. Why not try it out and try a lot more exposures and see what happens there, and try different compositions and see what happens there. And good luck to you. Until next time, I'm Ray Scott, reminding you it's not what you see, it's how you see it. And I'll see you soon.